Hey everybody, welcome to Phantom History House Calls. We're live on all the socials. How are you, Steve?
I'm good. It's good to be back after 2 weeks off.
It absolutely is. So we are so happy to have first-time authors with us tonight.
Yes.
And it's going to be an exciting conversation. Thanks everybody for watching Phantom History House Calls. All right, so it is the holiday season. We have lots of stuff going up. Most importantly, this Saturday, 3 to 6.
Yes, we have our Phantom Menagerie anthology authors coming back here to the B&B. We had them here before, and we squeezed them between two hurricanes. So we're doing it again. So you can actually come out to the B&B, meet our authors, get your books signed, and they're going to do some readings from some of their contributions.
Absolutely. So it's our book release party number 2. It is a free event. We want you to be here from 3 to 6 at Phantom History House this Saturday, the 7th. And listen, there's going to be wine. I am making all kinds of desserts. There's going to be food. It's like a great, fun thing.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
We hope that you will be here, get your book signed, meet the authors, be one of the fabulous people that, know published authors.
Exactly. And make sure if you are watching tonight, let us know where you're watching from. And as always, you can drop your questions into the comments section, and we will be happy to relay those to our guests this evening. But we have a lot more going on other than this weekend.
Because the next weekend
is
Friday the 13th.
So December is extra spooky this year, which makes us very happy with Friday the 13th. So we are going to do a Friday the 13th ghost tour of Oldsmar. So make sure you get your tickets for that.
You can't miss that. I mean, on Friday the 13th, walking around in the spooky neighborhood in the dark. It's very
Absolutely. I already have a few tickets sold, so more tickets are available. And then on the following night, on Saturday the 14th, we are going to do Christmas-themed ghost stories around the fire. So this is going to be similar to our normal ghost stories around the fire, except for every story I'm going to tell has a Christmas hook. And we're going to be handing out our s'mores kits, so you can roast your marshmallows and make your s'mores. And Tim has all kinds of very cool sweet treats in the works.
And wine. And it's a great event. But I mean, it's been nice and cool lately now. So it's like you feel like it's holiday-ish, right? It's a Christmassy time. And Friday the 13th weekend, you have to take advantage of that, everybody. So we hope you'll come see us.
Yeah, and decide to stay with us for a couple nights, we would love that as well.
Of course,
before the insanity of the
holidays. In fact, come take a little break in the middle of the whole holiday season, everybody. It's crazy out there. We're all stressed out. It's been a crazy fall with the hurricanes and everything else.
It has been a weird year.
Take a weekend, take a night, just escape, turn everything off, unplug, and take a deep breath in the middle of all this. We hope that you'll come do that here. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. We've been seeing deer in the backyard.
Yeah, like in the middle of the day, we had a buck.
In the middle of the day, that hardly ever happens.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. And hello to Kristen and Chris. Thanks for tuning in all the way from South Carolina. Great to see you guys again. Remember, drop it in the chat. Let us know where you are. Drop it in the chat. Let us know where you're watching
from. Hip.
I'm so hip. Again, you can ask questions to our guests here as well. And we also want to remind you that, of course, it is December already, which is crazy. So we would like you to consider maybe staying with us here for New Year's Eve.
What are you doing?
No singing.
I can sing okay.
I can't.
New Year's Eve is great fun here. We had some people here with us last year. We have really nice crystal champagne flutes. We'll do a toast at midnight, but mostly it's kind of quiet. I'm not one that likes to get out and well, it's been a lot lately. But anyway, I'm not one that likes to go out and be in a giant party on New Year's Eve. I love the idea of being in an elegant place, making a special evening of it with your special someone here.
Absolutely.
And then do a champagne toast with us.
Yeah. It was a blast last year and brought in a great new year. So hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah.
And as a preamble to our guests before we bring them on, a reminder, they're all contributors to Phantom Menagerie, stories inspired by Phantom History House, where we feature 16 horror authors who each wrote a horror story about items that they found inside Phantom History House. And we were able to publish that in September. And it's gotten really good reviews and been accepted really well. So we're excited about that.
So if you go to our website at phantomhistory.com and just click on books in the main menu, it'll take you right to information about the book, a link to Amazon where you can purchase your copy either on Kindle or get one printed for you, which is even cooler. Yeah. And we have copies here. Right. So come to the book release party on Saturday, get your copy. and get it signed.
Yeah.
I
think we should introduce our author.
I think we should bring them in.
Absolutely.
Okay, so should I bring them all at one time?
Yeah, bring them
okay.
all
All right, everybody, here come the authors. Here come the authors. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here.
So good to see all of you. And of course, everybody can see your names on the screen. We have Lori, we have Sally, we have Edward. But in order to kind of keep it from being too chaotic, Lori, could you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are?
Hi, everybody. I'm Lori Lord Masucci. I live here in Florida. I'm actually a full-time teacher. I teach 10th grade, so one of the most terrifying careers there is, of course. And like everyone here, I'm new to being published with fiction. I've written poetry that's been published before a little bit, but this is my first short story, which is exciting.
Congratulations, and we're so excited to be your first fiction publication.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and Lori wrote a story called Delta, which is about the planchette-shaped table in our Ouija board room, which is a very cool and eerie story, which I love.
Yeah, we'll get more about that in a minute. But Sally Darling, introduce yourself, please.
Hi, guys. I'm Sally Darling. I'm also, like the rest of you guys here, a first-time published author, so it's really crazy to even say that. I've been writing for fun for a while, and it's really cool to finally have readers for it. I'm also a musician, a yoga teacher, and a music school co-owner, and yeah, drawing a blank here.
No, that's great. That's great information. And Edward Peeler, introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I'm Edward Graham Peeler Jr., and I am a first-time published author, and which is really, really amazing and cool. Currently, I do security work, and I started actually writing while doing security. I don't know, Navy vet. I'm a local Seminole Heights weirdo. I just kind of hang out here around for the most part. That's about all I can do in terms of advertising myself.
Which is perfect because Seminole Heights is weird anyway, so it totally worked for you. I mean, it's such a cool historic.
It's a cool vibey place.
Yeah, that's where when I lived in my previous haunted house was in Seminole Heights, which you remember. So yeah,
see, there you go.
We already feel connected. So yeah, thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Wait, what was that, Eddie? We didn't hear you.
Yeah, you're hanging out in a weird place like Seminole Heights, and then you wander over to Ybor, which is weird. Then you wander over to West Chase and go to a B&B, and that's weird. It's all good.
Since the trend.
Okay. Well, yeah. So we're so glad that you guys are here. So should we talk about each of the stories for a second?
Yeah, let's do that first.
By the way, if you're watching, everybody, thank you so much for watching Phantom History House Calls. Put your questions for the authors in the comment section.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's go back to Lori because she had the Delta table.
Yes.
First off, we were so excited to have this special piece of furniture built especially for the Ouija room.
Yes.
Shaped like the planchette in the shape of a Delta. So Lori, what about that drew you to it, to want it to be the object you wrote about?
Well, I've always been interested in Ouija boards from a young age. When I was in middle school, we had a slumber party at my house, and we decided to use a Ouija board, just sort of the game board design one, right? Like the mass-produced Ouija board. And one of my friends became convinced during this party, that the Ouija board had possessed her, and she sort of leapt on my back and attacked me with this plastic planchette. And so I've always been emotionally connected to Ouija board planchettes. And so when I saw the table in your house, I was drawn to it immediately, right? This is something that I have a long history with. So I was, I guess, working out some feelings about Ouija board planchettes when I saw the table, the beautiful, beautiful table in your home. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you know anybody else that's ever been attacked by a plastic planchette?
Plastic planchette.
That's amazing.
I have some interesting friends.
If you would have asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have said no.
No,
now I'm like,
no.
With the crowd running in now, is this what you're saying?
Well, when you invite the HWA into your home.
So,
yeah, you hang it with horror authors, and the fact that planchette stabbing is not that awkward.
It's not that weird.
Well, it's a great story, and thank you for contributing it to our anthology for sure.
Yeah, I love it.
Sally, tell us a little bit about your story. You wrote about an antique hotel bell that we have sitting in our library, which was actually gifted to us. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration.
Yeah, so I really my first inkling was to go for the gramophone. And then when I asked about it, another author had gotten it, which worked out great because her story's amazing and it's in the book. So shout out. So then I started to look at the pictures and I saw the bell and I was like, oh, because I wanted something that made some sound. And then the story just started to kind of evolve from that. And I knew I wanted something that had sound. And when it started to just drive somebody crazy, I knew I had something.
Well, yeah, and that's what's so scary about it. Look, he went and grabbed the bell. We couldn't bring the table down here.
Don't touch it.
Should I ding it? Contrary to her story, I'm still.
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
boy.
which, I'm amazed it works as well as it does.
It's very cool.
It's a beautiful bell. I mean, it's really cool, and just to think about all the crazy stuff that it went through in the story and what it may or may not be responsible for.
Right, and of course the story is called "The Screaming of the Bell,"
Yes.
not the ringing, but the screaming of the bell. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect when you.
Absolutely, yeah. You kind of know what you're getting into. It's not to give too much away, but it's about a man who is plagued by the screaming of this bell that just will not stop 24 hours a day. But it changes in frequencies, it changes in tempo, tones, everything, so that you can't become used to it like you would with tinnitus. And is it in his head? I don't know, but no one seems to believe him. So read the story, find out what happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very cool. And
in this book.
Yeah, and by the way, everybody, thank you for watching. If you're watching live, put your questions in the comment area. We're talking with 4 authors who are published for the first time. And Sally, I have to point out, I love your Audrey 2 in the background. It's so super cool that you have that.
We've got a few around the house.
I love it.
Okay, it's fantastic. All right, so then, Edward, let's talk about your story. You chose the piece of art at the top of the stairway.
Right, called The Nightmare.
Nightmare by Fusili.
Yes.
So I guess in my case, I'm learning a lot about myself, and from writing, I really like writing assignments because I think like if you're ever in like a writer's block place and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to write about, just like sometimes just like, okay, just give me a prompt, give me a thing, and it's like, and so the entire premise of the anthology was pick an object, write a story about it. That was helpful. I had seen the Fusili before, the Nightmare before, and I'd always thought it was a cool image, and you had this cool image of it, like this picture of it. To be fair, I used it as inspiration, just because from the critters on top of it. But I kind of cheated because my headcanon for the anthology, which is not canon all the way through, is we're all connected. I'm a comic book guy. I like a shared universe. So like my headcanon is like Lori writes something that happened in my universe. Sally wrote something that happened same world. Even if it's contradictory, the better, you know, like. So I knew other people were writing other things, so I kind of wanted to highlight certain things. That's why, like in the beginning, I talk about the vessel because I knew Ginsberg was going to talk about that. The hand. The whole reason I had Christopher do something with the lantern was I knew Derek was going to talk about it. But I kind of basically I referenced multiple things. I had the hands in the bathroom attack the main character because I just felt like I got to use the hands. The hands are cool.
Well, and the hands freak out a lot of people. The hands are hanging in our cemetery room, in our bathroom, and it always surprises people when they walk in there. And yeah, you're right. Your story connects all this stuff together, which is incredible. And speaking of connections, we feel so fortunate to have been able to connect with the 3 of you and everybody else who's involved in the anthology. But to Tim's point, you know, tonight's conversation is about, you know, your first fictional piece of work being published. So Lori,
and by the way, I have yet to say that you are the 4th author. We should have said that much. Yeah, I mean, Howard, I feel really bad about that. But Steve, you are the 4th author because your story and you're published for the first time.
Yes,
in the book.
Yes, so I have written for newspapers and for magazines for a very long time. So I've had those kind of stories published. But yeah, this is my first piece of fiction that has ever been published. And I wrote a story called Milkweed, which is based on 2 statuettes that are back in our backyard in our monument garden, and about the garden at large. So it was a lot of fun.
It's done. Everybody's liked it. You've gotten a lot of really positive things. And I know we're going to get right back to your question for Lori, but why did you choose those? Since we're asking everybody.
Well, it's funny. When we were walking around the house with some of the authors that contributed, I actually pointed those out to a couple of people, and they just kind of were like, oh, okay. And then they moved on to something else. And I was like, well, why is nobody interested in these? Then I thought, oh, what I'm interested in them. So maybe I should claim them. So I ended up doing that for some reason. And of course, when we found them, it was weird. And, so I kind of knew a little bit more about them than most.
That was weird when we got those.
Yeah, they creeped us both out.
Yeah,
And
they did.
we always joke, everything in the house, we're like, if it makes us uncomfortable, we should get it. So those were two of the things that we did.
That is one of our things. Like, this is making me really uncomfortable. Let's take it home. Yeah, that's so weird that we do that. So now let's jump back to the question. Sorry I interrupted you, but you were going to Lori with the question about what it felt like to be published for the first time. Were you?
Well, yeah, you said, Lori, that you had some things published, like your poetry and things like that. How
Yeah.
does getting this published, a piece of fiction like this, compared to like that experience? Are they pretty much the same?
I would say that it's pretty different. I don't usually think of myself as a fiction writer. There are some reasons why I feel really uncomfortable usually writing fiction, having to do with some of my sort of neurodivergences. I have ADHD, and also I have aphantasia, which means I have no mind's eye. It's hard for me to picture things. And the combination of those two things means that I tend to not have a lot of object permanence. It's kind of a running joke in my life and my marriage and my life in general. And it's hard for me to write any long form fiction. Always feel like I can't maintain a world long enough to write like a novel. I'm amazed by people who can write novels, but I'm like, I can never do it. So I usually write poems because they're short and I can stick with it until I'm done with it and then move on. So the process of writing fiction has always been really intimidating for me, but being in the Phantom History House and seeing all the items that I really loved there, I just really wanted to give it a try and take an item that was beautiful and a place that I loved and sort of bring that to life in some way that felt positive to me.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you for saying that. And I think it's very cool. Like, I feel like we all learn as we grow and get older and start to learn about ourselves. We figure out, okay, these are my issues, my things I have to, my challenges, my strengths, and you sort of figure out how to navigate your life to make that all work. Like, and I love that you just described that.
Yeah. And Sally, I know that for you, you weren't here for the initial walk through the house and find the thing you wanted to write on. Like you shared, originally it was the gramophone, and then you fell to the bell. What is it like for you, knowing that you have a piece of published work out there? I know you've already taken it to your school. You've taken it to some book fairs. What's that experience like for you?
It's blowing my mind. Because like a year or two ago, maybe even just a year ago, I was writing stories, not even really finishing them, or just didn't know what to do with them if I did. And then met a couple authors. They said, hey, check this out, check that out. And they've been just so encouraging. So it led from one thing to another. And then with the Higher Writers Association, the wonderful people there, they were like, hey, here's an open call for this great history house that's doing an anthology. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to try. And I can't believe I got accepted, but thank you. This is amazing. And to actually pick up the book and flip to it and see my name there and see words that I wrote, and they're being pretty well received, I hope. It's just absolutely a dream come true. And I can't thank all of you guys enough. And it's amazing. And it's also an honor to be in these pages with so many amazing writers, new ones, as well as just established, really like successful ones. It's so cool.
Yeah, and I loved it. That one of the things I'm really proud of that we did in the book was at the end of the story, there's a photo of the author with their object. Yeah. And so I love that, because I'm always interested to know, okay, well, you don't often see the author's picture a lot of times. I mean, sometimes it's in
not in an anthology.
Yeah, but I just think it's very cool that we included that part, and you get to see the object. And all of you guys probably will not be surprised to know that we've had a number of people already say, I really enjoyed reading the book, and now I want to come wander around the house and see all these things, which is very cool.
And I think we should also add, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sally was our test subject for how the photos were going to
look. You were. You remember that, Sally? You were the first one?
Yes. Because I had like a really specific window, and I was like, hey, can I stop by today at 2? And you guys were so nice to accommodate me. So yeah.
No, it was great, but you were the first one. Like I was figuring out how we were going to frame it, and and then of course our great friend Lee, who's a photographer, helped us figure out exactly how to frame it better. We were sending him the pictures and going, okay, how about this one? He'd be like, no, do this and this. But anyway, Sally, you were the prototype for the photo. So good for you. You did great.
Yes, our model.
Happy to be in service.
I love it. That's great.
And Eddie, I want to ask you as well, because when we started talking tonight, you were talking about how you were talking about your weird universe, and you created a weird universe within your story. So I'm curious for you, what does it feel like to be able to hand somebody a copy of your weird universe now that it's been published?
I don't want to go on too long about this. I was a Navy vet, and but I kind of I joined the Navy very late in my life. I remember once we kind of graduated, there was a guy that was next to me who was like crying, and I kind of, it was kind of weird for me because it was more like a job for me than anything else. But like for him, it was a big deal. When I got a copy of the book, I kind of understood what was going through. It's pretty amazing. It's like something that I put out there is publicly available. It's pretty amazing. It's a year ago I wouldn't have thought I would have been there. It's pretty amazing. It's like, I mean, it's kind of life changing, and not kind of necessarily in the way that like, oh well, you know, I still got to go to work and still got to do other things, but it's just like it's hey man, I did that. That's kind of cool. It's really great. So
well, as the one on the call who's not a public, well, I do have a book, never mind. But as the one who's not in the anthology, that sounded like a humble brag, and I did not mean for it. That was so embarrassing. But anyway, I think this is a milestone. It's a life milestone. It's a really big deal. I mean, so many people love to write and are consider themselves an author, justifiably so. But like actually being published in a real book, I think it's a big deal. I think it's great.
I think it's, and I'm going to go back around the loop with this question. I want to ask this of all of you, and
I'm going to interrupt. Here's Sally's picture, everybody. What am I doing to it?
I don't know.
I'm trying to show everybody. It's not going to work. Okay. Anyway, They're in the book, everybody. Anyway, what were you going to say? I'm sorry. I totally interrupted you.
It's okay. Do you have a question?
No, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I was going to go around and ask. For me, you know, now that I have this out there, it's like a very cool feeling, but it's also like inspiring. It makes me want to write some more and to like kind of get my creative juices going again. So, Sally, I'm going to jump to you on this one. Has it impacted you to want to do more of this writing and try to get published?
Yeah, definitely. So it helped boost my confidence for sure, and just kind of give me some perspective on what may or may not be received well. And it definitely inspired me to go back and finish a bunch of the stories that I had that weren't finished. They still could use a gazillion more edits, but these are ones that, you know, I may have started, a year or two ago and left half written, that I went back and actually put an ending to, that some of them I'm absolutely in love with. I've also sent a story or two to a couple of other open calls, and yet to hear back yet. I'm sure I'll be rejected, and that's okay. But I'm doing it, and it's really been very cool, because I'm not sure I would have had the confidence to have that jumping off platform if I hadn't just jumped into the deep end. Mixing up my metaphors here, but you get the idea. But thank you. Like, you guys really helped give me some confidence to keep going. And I hope to have a book of short stories out in the next, hopefully, year tops. I'm hoping. So we'll see what happens. It's hard to keep writers on task with this stuff.
I think that's very cool. And actually, I don't think our society appreciates enough what it's like, if you're a creative person, to put something out there into the world and have it judged by everybody, right? I mean, you're basically saying, here's my baby. This is the best I can do. I really worked hard on this. Now, what do you think? And, we know that people can be kind of flip and cruel, especially these days on social media. So I want to say I'm really proud of all of you for taking that risk. Like, really, anytime you put something out there and then especially publish it, and then here it is for people to see from time memoriam now, I think it's really great. How about you, Lori? Did it impact the way that you have been, like the way you feel about your writing or wanting to do more?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. I'm still kind of nervous, right? Like, I'm still a little hesitant, and I probably still feel like novels are always going to be too scary for me. But I do feel like maybe I could dip my toe into like short stories again, give it another try, get it out there. So yeah, I would say it's boosted my confidence a little. I'm a very unconfident person, but a little bit.
Well, I think every little bit helps.
That's right.
Move forward.
Absolutely.
So, and Eddie, before you answer that question, I want to answer a question on our chat. Valerie's asking, what genre is the book considered? Horror or thriller and I think it's considered horror, but we are listed under
that was sort of our
section
intent
as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but we did put thriller as one of the keywords on Amazon, because if somebody's searching for that, I think it fits.
Yes, exactly. So just wanted to answer that question.
And hi, Melanie Sue is watching. So thank you for watching another of the authors.
Absolutely.
And Carla's watching. Hey, Carla, and Kristen, of course, and Chris. So thank you guys for all being here. If you have questions, put them in.
Yes, and Eddie, I want to ask this question we were talking about to you as well. Are you inspired to continue writing now after being in the anthology?
Yes, absolutely. I was, I definitely, and I've been getting a lot of encouragement for it. And HWA, you guys, you're a great group to hang out with. It's like I like Doug's new. When we have our meetings, Doug will always usually at a part in the meeting be all like, "Does anybody need encouragement?" It's like, yes, absolutely. Do that all the time. It's because I've definitely got some more stories I'd like to find homes for. So like there's more ideas coming forward. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. And hello, Sally. Thank you for watching. Great to see you. Sally is a member of our book club that meets here every month. And just last month, we read 3 selections from the anthology.
We did.
And had a couple of the authors here, which we plan to do again. So you guys keep your phones nearby.
But it was Melanie Sue and then
me, and it was Stephanie.
And Stephanie Jensen.
Yeah. So we were able to do this.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The members of the book club really loved getting to talk to the authors, sort of like we are tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about getting that direct feedback from the author, which is really interesting. That's something you normally get to do. And also ask those questions. I know I was asked a couple of questions. I was like, I don't know why I wrote that. I don't know where that came from. It kind of makes you examine your own stuff again. And to just kind of jump into the conversation too, I've been super motivated to do some more writing since this, and have actually started a story page on the Fandom History House website where I've created a couple of stories about the fictional spirits of the house. We do have real spirits of the house, but fictional spirits of the house.
And you can read those. Everybody go to fandomhistory.com and click on stories, or it's in the menu.
Yeah. And to Sally's point, I had some stories that I had forgotten about like from a year ago, and I've started revisiting those again as well. So that's why I asked that question, because I've like found this new spark of like creativity, and I want to like birth more.
Well, and your plan is to keep writing them, because I think we should there's endless amounts of stories. And Kenneth, thank you for watching, asked a really interesting question, what inspired the anthology to be written?
That's a very good question. You can field that one.
Well, I have a lot of answers in my head for how it happened. How did it happen?
Well, we got connected to the right people for one, this amazing group of horror authors. But we had talked a long time ago about creating a lore around the house.
We had.
And it was like,
in fact, that's one of the things you started writing, right?
Like
stories about the things in the house.
Right. And I have these few things that have not picked up by other authors yet that I want to get those across the finish line. So when this idea came out to kind of create a whole anthology of different points of view of things in the house, it just made sense.
Well, and it's also a way for our goal right now at Fandom History House is to let people know we're here, right? Because everybody that comes to the house loves it. They want to tell everybody's like, oh, I have a friend or a relative or somebody that would love this place. But we thought it's also a way for people to know about us and find out about us, as we have this cool book. And books, can go places. Absolutely. That for sure they do. It would be a way for people to find out, because each of the objects in each story is something that's actually here.
And I want to share what Carla shared. This is for you, Sally. Not a question, but a statement based on something you said earlier. She said, Sally, you have a positive mindset. You are published and a wonderful author. So other projects will be lucky to have you. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
I can agree more. So keep submitting those things out there to the universe.
I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think that's the way you should think about it. And it is a real feather in your cap. And I think I'm excited that we got to help people be published and create something and I love that we were able to be the help them.
It's like a group project that actually worked.
And listen, we got a lot of great advice, a lot of wonderful help. Of course, Doug and Elaine from the Horror Writers Association, Lynn Hansen, of course, created the cover for us and was very helpful in putting it all together. In fact, I don't know if you guys can see that let me see if I can do this here. The bottle on the front of the book, which Lynn manipulated for this cool cover, is right there. Yeah, it's right behind us. So anyway, we love that it's one of the objects here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we could talk all night and more about you guys and the book, but I want to get back to the individual questions for you guys. And this is a broad question, so I'm going to have to kind of ask you to like focus it. But if you could give us a preview of kind of what you're working on now, what would your quick elevator pitch of that thing be? Whether the type of story it is, a quick plot of what it is,
if they're willing to,
if you're willing to share,
if you feel comfortable sharing it, of course, no pressure.
Yeah.
Who do you want to go first?
And to give them a chance to kind of think about it.
Okay.
Like I was just kind of saying, we've been creating a lore around the house. So that story page gave me a way to write about fictional ghosts that haunt each of the individual rooms.
So if you want to see the latest thing that Steve wrote,
yeah, you can go to phantomhistory.com,
click on the main menu, the home menu in stories. Or slash stories.
Yeah, phantomhistory.com/stories, and you can see all of those. And I plan to keep like putting stuff there. So I have this new inspiration.
I think it's awesome. So there'll be stuff there all the time. Everybody keep looking.
Yeah. So that's like my little preview. So Lori, I want to ask you the same question. Is there anything you want to tease or talk about that you're working on?
I'm the worst. I actually, with my day job being so crazy, this semester we had the 2 hurricanes come through. So my semester kept getting thrown into upheaval. So I'm actually not really working on anything currently right now. And that's great. Thank you for believing in me and that I would be working on something. And just because you believed in me, I'm going to try to work on something over Christmas break. I'll have something new to announce soon.
I love it. No pressure. I mean, life is crazy, and we all have a lot. We have a lot going on with families and jobs and everything. But we would love to hear more from you, Lori.
Okay.
Like I told you when you were here for the last. We have everybody. We're having another book release party this Saturday from 3 to 6 here at Phantom History House. Wine, desserts, food. Come on and enjoy. And Lori, when you read your story, the little clip from your story you're reading, your voice was completely different from any other one in the book, and I thought that was really cool.
Thank you.
So I want to encourage you.
I'll do it. I'll do it for Tim and Steve.
Well, actually, I feel like every story was completely different. I guess that's one of the cool things about an anthology.
Yeah, everybody had a different point of view.
Yeah.
So
we are a bunch of weirdos. So we're all weird in our own way.
Yes, and as our good friend Douglas Ford said, you get all your weirdness out on the page, and then you can share it with everybody else, which is great.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic.
Yeah. So, Eddie, I'll ask you the same question. What's a quick preview of anything that you might be working on?
We talked about it before, but there was something I was working on before the anthology came out that is basically done, and it's mostly on computers that are broken that I'm trying to get fixed, and that's the big scary thing. But it's kind of a to my story in the Phantom Menagerie, where it has the same character of, I think Bruce and Elijah and Ekaterina are all in it. Kind of a different angle, whereas my story has got more kind of alien-y things in it. This has to deal with demons and gods and things. So that's one thing I'm working on. In terms of like thing I've been writing the most right now that I'm having fun with, Josh Ginsberg is kind of working on a anthology for our shop we like to go to a lot, where Phantom Menagerie can be purchased, I should point out, which is Tiger Dust. And he's working on Tales of the Dusty Tiger. I think he's going to do like an anthology first. But when I was working on that other story, it involved Tiger Dust, so I kind of like, can I have permission to like use your fictional version, the Dusty Tiger? And he said yes. Nice. So I've been working on some things like that. So I came up with an idea, which takes place there. Basically, just my pitch: Cthulhu versus Slenderman. That's basically it. Okay. And all centering around 2 assholes trying to purchase something at that place that turns into that. So
all right.
There's the description on the back cover. Right
that
there.
Makes me want to listen. Want to read. How about you, Sally? What about you? Anything you're working on?
Yeah, I mean, bits and pieces here and there, but the main one that I started a couple weeks ago, it's a Christmas story, a nice heartfelt story. But I won't blow too much about it. But it's about a guy who answers a job listing and becomes the new Santa Claus, but it's got a really dark side to it. So stay tuned to see what happens.
Ooh,
I love it. I wonder if Audrey 2 shows up.
I do have some ideas about some killer plants, but nothing on paper yet.
Okay.
I love it.
And to answer Kenny's question, will there be more anthologies in the future?
It's possible. It's possible. We're flush with success, shall we say?
And we got a lot of stuff here for people to write about.
We've been asked that a lot, which is very, very nice and very encouraging because that means people are happy with what we've done and are excited to read more.
Yeah,
which is a testament to the work the authors did.
And of course, we're hoping that that the book keeps selling. We are coming up on the holiday season. Hopefully, people want to purchase it. It's a great stocking stuffer.
Stocking stuff for everybody.
So I'm hopeful. And this is a question for each of the authors. So we'll go around here as well. This is a question from Carla. Can each of you tell us your favorite thing about Phantom History House? I like that question. And not to put you.
Your favorite thing about Phantom History House?
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about Phantom History House other than me?
I was gonna say you and make it clever.
See?
And then he always beats me to the punchline. Everybody, every time. I'm probably gonna say the potion wall that we're sitting in front of because it's our great accomplishment. I think architecturally and design wise, and it gets so much attention. So that's why we're always sitting here. So I would have to say that's pretty special.
Okay. Yeah.
And you?
The library. I love the library space. It's my favorite place to work during the day. I like hanging out there in the evening.
You do spend a lot of time in the library.
I love the library. It's like my little happy space. So it's not a thing, but it's a space. So Lori, we'll ask you that question, courtesy of
You keep
Carla.
making her go first every time. But that's okay.
I'm just going clockwise on our little window.
Yeah, we're going clockwise. Well, you didn't say I couldn't say you, so I'm going to say the two of you are my favorite thing about the Phantom History House. I love all the objects there. I love the whole vibe. But what I love the most is just you guys. I love how you embody like queer love and queer joy. And you've created this space for everybody, but especially for weirdos, to just come and be creative and share with each other. And it's just a beautiful place. I love every moment that I spend there, but that's because of the two of you. But then the planchette table.
That's really sweet. Thank you, Lori, for saying that. Yeah, that's nice. That's certainly what we're trying to do is create an energy and an atmosphere and make people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
We did just have another guest who came for a stay and then extended because she loved it here so much and she was so comfortable and she was really loving the energy. She was talking about the dreams she was having were so like she loved being here, and that was a wonderful compliment.
It was. She was very sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so Sally, how about you? You want to say your favorite thing about Phantom History House?
Yeah, I mean, Laura, you took the words out of my mouth. It is the two of you, definitely. You guys, just the energy and the aura that is there is so warm, and it's just so comforting to be there. And it's just a beautiful space. So it's hard to pick like a tangible object, but I would have to probably say just the library in general is amazing. It's breathtaking. So if anybody does get a chance to go, whether you're a writer or some other type of creative, or you just want some downtime, it doesn't really matter. Go. It's you won't regret it.
No.
Yeah, and we have had writers' retreats, and we've had people talk about doing getting artists together. It's a great place to sort of turn off the world and concentrate on your craft for a bit, I think.
Yeah, escape the crazy and do the weird.
Like-minded people, perhaps. So, well, thank you for that lovely answer, Sally. That's so sweet of you to say that too. All right, Eddie, you're up, buddy. What do you want to say about what's your favorite thing about Phantom History House?
I'm going to echo my co-authors here is you two guys are really sweet guys, and I appreciate this opportunity. And you guys are the first people to publish me. You're wonderful. But if we can hone in a little bit, a more specific thing. Every time I go there, you guys feed me. I'm a fat guy. If you have an HWU meeting, it's just like, oh, dude, Tim's going to make it. Hell yeah. I know. Yeah, because again, you're the baking guy. Steve, you're the regular breakfast guy. But I do think it is a cool space. It's like there's a wonderful you have cool stuff there. You two are really sweet and awesome. Been very supportive. You could almost say that the Phantom History House is all about cozy horror. I don't know why I'm holding this right now.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Awesome.
For our friends.
What is this, a crossover episode?
It is a crossover episode.
Everything's a crossover episode in life, actually. I love that. Yeah, we have both of the first two editions of the Spooky magazine. It's really fun, everybody.
And Melanie Sue has said she has already said she's moving in, so she plans to
come on.
Well.
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, and I'm going to go the other way around the circle this time. Briefly, let everybody who's watching know how they can find you: websites, social media, all that good stuff. Eddie, where can people track you down?
Okay. So I have a YouTube channel that I never use. I'm the Dread Pirate on YouTube, and there's a picture. You know it's me because there's like a banner of like two people getting married, but everybody, the guests are pulling open their shirt. No, wait, yeah, they're all superheroes underneath. And there's a picture of me like at St. Augustine. It's the Dread Pirate. I used to like put my D&D stuff there. I did do some audiobooks of things that are not published on there. I did one episode of the Tampa Oddcast with Josh Ginsberg and Michael Lortz for Tiger Dust. I think a lot of that stuff isn't out yet, so hopefully it will be. And currently, we talked before the show about being part of Unprofessional Productions and how I'm so happy to be on a professional one, guys. On Facebook, you can find John Prophecy's metal and hip hop reviews. Basically, I go over after I'm done hanging out with these people and drink with my friends and talk about music I don't know that well. So that's apparently one of our episodes we got 90,000 views. So that's cool.
Wow.
Mostly and yelling at my friends. So
very good. All right, thank you. And that's very exciting. Okay, so Sally, how about you? Where can people find you?
Social media, you can search Sally Debauchery or Sally Darling because it's stage name and now writing name. I'm trying to blend the two together and get that streamline figured out. You can also find my personal pages as Sally Bartolotta. Instagram is Sally Debauchery, and I believe Blue Sky is Sally Darling. At some point, it will be one name and one person.
Well, cool. I'm going to look for you on Blue Sky because I just signed up there recently.
I just made it, and the post about this was my very first post. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, Phantom History is on Blue Sky as well. So we'll have to connect on there if we haven't already.
Beast FL.
Beast FL.
Like Beast, Florida. Yeah. All right, Lori, how about you? Where can people find your stuff?
I'm on basically, a lot of social medias is just my actual name, Lori Lord Masucci. But my main one where I track a lot of my writing stuff is on Instagram, where I'm M-Poet. So it's EMDASHPOET, M-Poet. Like, me and Emily Dickinson, we like to use a lot of M-dashes in our poetry. Not that we're alike in any other way, but just that one way.
And of course, on the
I don't know about that now.
Right. And of course, on all the Phantom History posts and stuff, we have tagged all of you. So of course, if you want to find them, look at some of our previous posts, you could be able to track them down as well. Yeah.
All right. So this has been really fun. First off, congratulations to all four of you for being published authors. We're so happy that our anthology, Phantom Menagerie, was the way that you first had your first fiction piece published.
We'll always be there first.
Thank you for that. I was waiting for something like that. But that's really cool. We're really excited about it. Listen, everybody, you can get your copy of Phantom Menagerie on Amazon or here at Phantom History House. We hope you'll come Saturday. We're having a book release party number 2 with book signings, readings. I'm going to be baking all day on Thursday and Friday. There's wine, there's cheese and crackers. It's going to be, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, join us
cheese and crackers.
Join us from 3 to 6, and I'll also have some readings as well. And thank you to you three for joining us and taking time out of your week to chat with us. We really appreciate it.
So each of you is going to get one last word. You can say like one sentence. What do you want to leave the world with? Eddie, one sentence, go.
Okay, I'm bad at this, and I just want to say I also have an Instagram, and I also have an old blog, Dread Pirate Sci-Fi Reviews. But come on down to the book release party, see us there, and appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, I love it. Sally, one little last thing you want to say to the world.
Parting shot.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you, and thank you for everybody who's bought and read a book. It just means the world.
All right, congrats to you. And Lori, you'll get the last word. What would you like to say?
I just want to say thanks to you guys and to everybody who's out there. You look great today and you're doing great.
I love that.
I
love that. And it's holiday time. Come see our 4 Christmas trees, everybody. Come visit Phantom History House. Take some time off. I think everybody needs to unplug, turn off the world, even for a day, if not a weekend, a week, whatever you want to do. Come see us, and hopefully Saturday.
Yes, and remember, Friday the 13th coming up, so come spend the weekend with us. Lots of events.
That's right. There's lots of stuff going on. Go to our website, to the events tab, and see all the stuff.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.